Good morning. It is 7 a.m. in Chicago, Illinois. I am Lynn Hoff, and I am bringing you my introductory video. I wanted to start out with a very short story from when I was a newspaper reporter about 20 years ago. I covered the courts beat in Iowa City, Iowa, and as I came into that job, I encountered a public defender with a reputation for being exceptionally difficult and not talking to the press. And I just sensed at the beginning, from the very beginning, that he and I would have a relationship, that we would be able to get to know each other, that he would be able to, he would learn that he could trust me. And my intuitions were correct. It didn't happen overnight, but I was persistent. And in the end, he came to realize that he could trust me. He became a valuable source of mine, and to this day remains a very good friend. And I've told that story several times throughout my career, quite often in the context of job interviews. But as I was reading my StrengthsFinder results, and connectedness was identified as a primary strength of mine, I was reminded of that story again because I do think that it exemplifies who I am as a person. I have been able to, throughout my life, throughout my career, to reach across lines, whether it was just the line between the press and the public defender's office, or a cultural line, or just lines between groups of people at work or at school. I have been a person who can build those bridges. And also in the sense that the StrengthsFinder describes connectedness as a sense that we are all connected as human beings, to each other, to the earth, to a cause greater than ourselves. That describes me to a T. I'm sometimes wary of tests like the StrengthsFinder, but I don't think that it could have described me any more accurately. So definitely my primary strength being connectedness. I agree totally. One of the other strengths that the StrengthsFinder identified was a surprise. It identified me as being strategic, which I kind of thought that's why I was in this program, was to become more strategic, that is not a skill that I currently possess. But as I read the description, as someone who plots out possible problems with a project, plans for those problems, I can see that that is who I am. And also in the description, it talked about being someone who doesn't like to come into a project in the execution phase when it is too late to provide input and to plot out the plan. And that is definitely true. At work, currently we are launching, or have launched actually, a tablet version of our member magazine, and the editorial staff was not consulted in choosing the product or the platform that we would use, and now we are encountering problems and it's too late for our input, and I find that very frustrating. Some of the other strengths that the StrengthsFinder identified also describe me very well. I am an introspective person. The intellection strength is definitely describes me very well. I am a person who needs my space and my time to sort out my thoughts. It describes me as restorative, a problem solver, which is very true. I think that when I was voted the Dear Abby of my senior class, that was probably a sign. But I do think that that has lasted throughout my career as well. I know that my employees feel that they can trust me, that they can come to me with problems, and not simply be condemned for having the problem, but find that I am someone that they can talk through the issue or the challenge with and come to a solution. And it also described me, the StrengthsFinder described me as being a learner, which is very true, certainly in the sense of being enrolled in this program. I actually found this program when I was on LinkedIn looking at a friend of mine had announced she took a new job. I was looking at that announcement and saw the ad for this program, clicked on the ad. Next thing I knew, I was taking the GRE, and the next thing I know, I'm recording this video. But I am excited to be part of this program. I do think that that sense of connectedness that the StrengthsFinder described is something that I aspire to in greater depth in my career. I aspire to make a contribution to a sense of connectedness between groups, between us as humans. And I think that this program will not only give me the knowledge, that will open doors to give me the opportunity to do that, but also give me the confidence to know that I can do it. I tend to be a person, and I think that's that ruminator, intellector side of me that thinks about the things that I can't do, or thinks about the challenges, like making this video. But I think that this program will turn those strengths, or keep them strengths, keep the strategic intellector side of me, keep that as a strength, and lessen its impact as a drawback. So that is me, as my Strengths Finder describes me. A brief biography: as I mentioned, I did work for a newspaper. This would be the newspaper in question. After working as a newspaper reporter for 7 years in Iowa, I moved to New Mexico and launched a public relations career. I worked at a community college and the University of New Mexico Health Sciences Center, and ultimately took a job with a Medicaid HMO and helped them to launch a statewide outreach program. And I'm proud to say that I still own the shirt that I wore to our state outreach events. 6 years ago, I moved from New Mexico to Chicago and took a job as the Assistant Director of Member Communications for the Radiological Society of North America, which is a association of 50,000 radiologists. We provide research and education opportunities. I oversee the member communications for our society, which includes our monthly member magazine, RSNA News, and our annual meeting newspaper, the Daily Bulletin. I do strive to have a life outside of my job and outside of school, and that life includes this guy, my husband Rob, and that is the two of us on our wedding day 5 years ago. I am the mother to this fella here. This is my son Tom, who is going to be 3 years old next month, and I am also a stepmom to this guy. This is my stepson Max, who will be 10 years old on Sunday. As I mentioned, I was a newspaper reporter in Iowa, and that came after graduating from the University of Iowa. Go Hawks! I root for the Hawks. I also root for the Buffalo Bills because I grew up in Western New York, and being a Bills fan does sentence you to a life of despair, but I can't help it. You grow up in Western New York, you're a Bills fan. But what the Bills have lacked in championships have been made up for by the Chicago White Sox, which is another one of the teams that I root for. Yes, I'm a big sports fan. I have all of those teams represented on my car in one form or another: the Hawks, the White Sox, the Bills. But I am proud to add one more to the back of my car: the USC Trojans. I am very excited and proud to be part of this program. I'm ready to learn, ready to grow, and I'm excited about meeting all of you. So thanks for watching.